Two guys either side of 50 with one dream to achieve middle-aged sporting glory. This is the Missing Links Golf Show. Andy Walker, welcome back to the Missing Links Golf Show. It is Pilgrims 2025. Can you believe it?
Mm-hmm. Who would have thought that we would have got halfway through this decade already?
Never really thought about it like
that. I actually did say it to my wife. I said, you know that we're halfway to 2030, and you could
that.
Yeah, you could see the crunching through just thinking about, wow, we actually are, which is sort of a little bit mind blowing. But here we are, at the start of 2025.
You know what else we are? We're a quarter of the way through the century. Andy Walker.
Ooh, wow!
Get that one, India.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
Yeah. All right, and that's all we've got time for.
We'll leave that with you till next week.
No, we joke. We've got a lot. We have a lot to get through. But I think first and foremost, it is a very big welcome back for 2025. Welcome back to you, Andy Walker. Welcome back to all of the Pilgrims that are joining us once again in not just one or two, but would you believe now, 43 countries around this fair globe of ours. We did, in fact, gain a new listener or listeners. I don't know how many it is, from Guatemala.
Wow. Okay. Oh, well, welcome.
And as you know, we're big on regional greetings. I'm not sure what the traditional Guatemalan greeting would be, but if anyone's aware of that, please reach out, let us know.
Yeah. And look, I mean, what I will say to all the Pilgrims is I hope you had a lovely festive season, had a lovely Christmas with all your families, if you celebrate Christmas, that is, and you didn't grow too much sideways throughout the festive season, which I did a little bit, but I was also countered that somewhat with some maintenance and upgrade work around the house, which sort of kept my feasting in check.
Which may become a story as we move through the show. And that is good. I, on the other hand, did a little bit of expansion around the waistline over the period, which wasn't all that happy about. But I am happy to say, Andy Walker, from New Year's Day, I've been making some efforts to address that situation, and so far so good. So
yeah, how you going with it? All good?
Pretty good. We'll talk about that in future episodes, perhaps.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, are yet to start my waist slimming program for 2025. But first couple of days back at work were long and arduous. So that may come in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to have to do something because I spent most of 2024 way too heavy. And I'd really like to get back to where I was, sort of around, the Macquarie Championship, the Macquarie Cup. I was
at the start of it, not at the end of it.
Yeah, I'd sort of lost a few kilos leading into the Macquarie Cup, and I was in a pretty good space, and then indulged way too much. Well, really for the rest of 2024. I was going to say just over the weekend, but it was really the rest of 2024. So I think it might be time for a change.
Well, you'll be impressed to know, Andy Walker, that it's now the 7th of January as we record this. And so since the 1st of January, in that, 6 days, I've lost an entire kilogram.
Oh, wow. Well,
it's amazing. For our American listeners, that's 2.2 pounds. It's actually probably close to 3 pounds because it's about 1.2 kilos. So anyway, this is not a fitness show. This is a golf show.
I was going to say, is that what, about 1% of body weight?
It's a little bit more than that.
Thereabouts?
It's not much more than that, but it's a little bit more than that. Anyway, I've got some big goals, let's just say, for the middle of February.
Okay, nice.
We need to sort things out. So yes, as you say, a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, if you prefer. I don't know, whatever your flavour might be. And on that topic, Andy Walker, any golf related Christmas presents come your way?
Um, no, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
shame. Me, same with me. Nothing.
yeah, yeah, nothing. I got a couple of items of clothing which weren't golf related, and
Mm.
a few beverages and of the red
Mm.
grape juice variety.
Oh, that's a good point. No, I did get a nice bottle of Taylor's St Andrews Shiraz.
Nice.
So that's semi golf related. St Andrews,
Mm. Mm.
as close as it got.
Is it really?
It's the name of a golf course. Quite a famous one.
Mm.
Anyhow, any golf over the Christmas break, Andy Walker? Obviously, we had the finale to the yearly championship that we will get to, but any other rounds for you?
I did about 3 days after we had our yearly championship. I did head out with a couple of mates to play some golf, and it was meant to be 18 holes, and we got 4 holes into it, and it absolutely bucketed down, and we got
It's not
drenched and
ideal.
said, you know what, we're better off in the clubhouse. And that's what we did. So, yeah, it wasn't very pleasant the end of that week. So, yeah, that was really about it. There wasn't a lot of practice. In fact, there was no practice. Plenty of home maintenance and painting and pressure cleaning and wood chipping and all the rest. Plenty of that, which I found is not great for golf,
Mm,
surprisingly.
mm.
And certainly, I really understand why I didn't become a tradie uh, as a career choice. And I hats off to all the tradies out there. Like you guys do an amazing job, but God, it's hard on the body. I tell you what, and especially the other side of 50, which you will find out in the not too distant future. But you get to middle age and yeah, hard physical labor is not necessarily the best way
It's
forward,
not
especially
ideal.
if you want to play golf at the end of the week.
To be perfectly honest with you, I found this side of 50 has been hard enough work over the last 6 months. I'm not sure about the other side. Um, are you trying to tell me, Andy Walker, that your soft little office worker hands didn't really
Mm,
stand up to the hard toil like they needed to?
no,
Is that,
did
is that
not
okay?
did not stand up to that
A
at
few little
all. I
blisters?
had blisters, all sorts of calluses coming out. Like it was just like my moisturizer was working overtime, but it just
Oh,
couldn't keep
fair
up.
dinkum. Here we go. Here we go. Maybe did you squeeze in any meditation at any point during the process, or
No, no, I did not.
shame?
But again, that's really no different to any part of 2024.
This year's going to be different, Pilgrims. 2025 is going to be different. We will be mindful. We will be meditating. We'll be calm. We'll be focused. And back to reality, ladies and
I was
gentlemen.
going to say if you say so.
Yeah, back to reality. Okay, well that's good. I actually did get a little bit of golf in um, before our catch up for the
Nice.
yearly championship. I
Because you,
managed.
you you went up north a little bit, didn't you?
We went on a family road trip to Queensland, to the Gold Coast, the sunny Gold
Nice.
Coast, south end of Queensland, beautiful part of the world. Now here you go, bit of background for you. So this is the broader extended family on my wife's side.
Yep.
All get together every Christmas. Traditionally, it's been on the central coast of New South Wales, around the Shelley Beach area, aka Mick Patterson. Shout out to you. But this year, a little bit different. One of the cousins that lives on the Gold Coast said, how about you all come up here instead of us every year coming down to you? So we all migrated our way up north,
Nice.
which was magnificent.
Mm.
And what we've introduced in the last couple of years, because the family, the maiden name of the matriarchal side that ties all of these cousins together, the surname is Crust.
Right.
So each Christmas, we play a round of golf for the Krusty Cousins Christmas Cup,
Nice. Nice. I like it.
which is a fantastic event. Let's just say there is a wide array of golfing ability that struts its stuff on this event.
Yep.
Therefore, we do tend to play it as an Ambrose event, also known as a scramble if you're from the United States or other parts of the world. So this year we played it as a four-man Ambrose or four-man scramble. And, as the captain of the defending champion team, Andy Walker, there was a lot of pressure on.
Mm.
But I would like to give a shout out to my team, which was cousin Luke, and a couple of other good fellows, Frosty and Josh, that joined us for the day. Once again, we took out the prize with a fantastic 7 under par for our group.
Ooh, nice.
Around the Glades Golf Club in Robina. Beautiful layout.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I have played the Glades once, quite a few years back, and I do remember it to be quite a tough golf course, quite long. I do remember it was had a few little issues with trees and what have you. So it was during the days where I wasn't playing a lot.
It's a good track, I've got to say. I was a big fan. I really, really enjoyed the day out. It was good company. The boys were good value. And shout out to cousin Luke. Cousin Lukey on the 16th par 3 stuck it to nearest the pin and sunk the putt to make birdie off his own stick. So
nice.
Well done, Lukey. Great work.
Well done.
He would have been upset if I didn't mention that. So.
It's always good to have a bird in the four-man Ambrose just by yourself. I mean, you feel like you've made a great contribution to the team.
It is good. We also made eagle on one of the par 5s.
Yeah, wow.
Which was good. So my drive, Frosty's drive, my approach. And then I think I was putting last. We were just on the fringe. Everyone else had given me a really good read and then managed to nicely roll one in from the front fringe, which was good. So that was an eagle. That was a bit of fun. Great day out, quality day out. So once again, we lifted the Krusty Cousins Christmas Cup on the
2
coast.
years in a row.
Yeah.
Back to back.
So, yeah. The handicappers will be out for blood next year. Anyway, so that was good. And then there was a bit of a random one, Andy Walker. We came down to the Central Coast, sort of your stomping ground, and we caught up with some old friends that we hadn't seen in quite a while for dinner. In fact, it was one of my lovely wife's school friends who brought her husband along, who, interestingly enough, is a golf fanatic. Now, I've only met Corey once, which was actually on the day that Corey and Cherie got married.
Yeah, right.
Their wedding. It's the only time I met him. That was, they've now got 2 kids similar age to mine. So gives you an idea how long ago that was.
Quite a while ago, yeah.
A little while ago now. So anyway, we sat down over dinner and Corey just sort of said, "Oh, I hear you don't mind a game of golf." I said, "Oh, yeah, I do enjoy a game of golf. By the way, here's my podcast if you want to have a listen to it."
Had he listened, or is he a Pilgrim now?
But he should be listening by now. So shout out
welcome,
to you, Corey. Yeah. So anyway, Corey followed that up with, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, I don't know yet. We're just on holiday, so probably just hanging out with the family. And he said, do you reckon I should see if we can get a tea time at the golf club tomorrow morning?
Mm.
Sounds good to me. So he jumped on the app, sorted us out for a 6:14 tee off the following morning.
That's early.
At Wyong Golf Club, home of the one and only David McClelland.
Yes. And a good golf club. Wyong.
I was impressed. I really enjoyed it. So
it's a great country track. I would recommend anyone who's around the Central Coast to make your way over and have a game at Wyong. Greens are usually really, really good and quite speedy.
They definitely were. Fair bit of space on a lot of holes. It's a pretty long course, but thoroughly enjoyable. Really, really good day out. So that was good. And then, of course, that led us right up to New Year's Eve, where we had the finale, Andy Walker, of the yearly championship.
Yes, we did.
Are we ready to go there?
Well, yeah, and just a bit of background. I mean, I did have the intention of doing some practice and quite a bit of practice after the New South Wales Country Championships. I felt like I was making progress and my game wasn't too far away. And what I think I've mentioned before that in my business sort of revolves around a quarterly cycle. And what I'd intended, and the quarterly cycle is around the BAS lodgement, so the business activity statement lodgement of my clients. And what I usually the month after the BAS lodgement is normally a fairly quiet month. So each year I just have a tendency to think, okay, well, BAS lodgement done for November. I'm just going to have a nice quiet downhill run into Christmas. And it never works out that way.
Could be time to adjust
However,
your planning.
however, this year I still went into it with the same expectation that I was going to have a
Mm.
nice,
Yeah.
easy, cruisy downhill run into Christmas. And guess what?
No, it didn't happen.
Didn't happen. So
I
I didn't
think
play any golf in December up until the holidays, and then after that, my wife and I, we've just bought our next home, about half an hour up the coast a little bit from where we are now, and in order to get this place ready to sell, we decided that we needed to do a whole heap of maintenance work, and as I said, painting and pressure cleaning and wood chipping and
mm,
all the rest. And yeah, it was a hard grind. We probably put in a good, I reckon, 7 or 8 days from pretty early in the morning to sometimes after dark, just cracking on and getting it done because you can't get tradies at Christmas.
no, you
Surprisingly,
cannot. No,
we
you
did
cannot.
try to get a couple of tradies in to assist, but it was very much no, don't have the capacity.
No,
Won't be back until the end of January, which
until
is
February.
when
Yeah.
we're hoping to put our place on the market. So,
Yep.
yeah,
The tradies
it's
also know that it's way too hot at that time of year to be doing any of these sorts of
yeah,
jobs.
it
So
is.
they're
It
not
is.
silly.
Mm, mm.
So I don't know.
So
I mean,
wasn't
Pilgrims,
wasn't an ideal prep
no, but
coming
Pilgrims,
into the yearly championship.
what we don't know is Andy Walker setting up an extended list of excuses or is Andy Walker setting up like just really setting this up for the greatest comeback story in the history of the world?
Mm,
We don't know. There's only one way to find out, and that is in fact to get into the round.
correct.
So it was the morning of New Year's Eve 2024 when we
Mm,
arrived at Kooindah Waters Golf Club and teeing off at around about 8:15, I
yep.
think, from memory. Shout out to Arthur and Ray, playing partners for the day in the comp. Actually, it's probably worth sharing a little story about Ray.
Yep.
So we got onto the first tee, and we're standing on the first tee, and for some reason, as the visitor to the club, it was bestowed upon me to lead the group off and hit the first tee shot. Which, I mean, I don't know. When I'm hosting visitors, I generally don't make them do that at my home club, but that's fine. If that's the way you guys want to do that at Kooindah, then that's totally up to
Well,
you.
I don't necessarily think it was bestowed upon you. I think
I feel like it was.
you just jumped up and you were the first on the tee, so you had a crack. I mean,
Yeah, then Ray said, go on then.
yeah.
So anyway, I teed it up and hit a massive block way left into the hazard, which was
Mm,
not an ideal start.
no.
So I wasn't that happy with that at that point. At which point I hear those it's the best joke ever. Like honestly, it's like, I know what you did wrong. You're standing on the wrong side of the ball. I laughed so hard. As a
On
left-hander that
on on the inside.
you've never heard that before. However, I would like to say publicly a little bit of an apology to Ray. Probably didn't need to give you a bit of a fair income. I haven't heard that before, champ. Cool.
and it was the tone of voice. I just went, ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear. So we're
Oh,
off to
look,
we're
it
off to a
was
cracking
like
start.
the delivery was just outstanding. I have to say.
Yeah.
I don't think he spoke to you for a couple of holes
Yeah,
after
we
that, though.
yeah, but no,
But you
we're
sorted it
okay.
out. Yeah.
We're okay. By about the third hole, I think we were fine. We had a few good laughs. He's actually a very good fella. Thoroughly enjoyed having a round of golf with Ray, albeit he made no more quips about being left-handed for the rest of the round.
Surprisingly.
So yeah,
Although I have to say, I did at one point. At one point, I think going down 10, I
yeah,
made the same one, and he just
yeah.
looked at me and went, "Oh,
Whoa.
oh," didn't quite know how to react or what to say.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
so anyway, you got a bit of fun.
yes, I don't know that Ray's listening to the show, but if you are, Ray, we enjoyed it just as much as you did. Um, so yeah, so look, I feel like first couple of holes, personally, I was making some really good recovery bogeys from taking penalties off the tee.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. You hit a few into some pretty dodgy places, I have to say.
Couldn't get away accurately off the tee, but I've got to say was hanging in there, which was good. So things weren't getting too far out of hand, even though the golf probably wasn't exactly where it needed to be. And it was one of those things, as I was saying to you, like the day before at Wyong, I couldn't miss a fairway, but
Yep.
how good is golf? The next day you stand up there and you feel
You
like
can't
you've
hit
got a
one.
door snake in your hand.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But how did you find the first few holes, Andy Walker?
Yeah, look, I got off to a bit of a sort of average start. I mean, I had a couple of bogeys for the first few holes, but I then and the first three holes at Kooindah aren't exactly easy holes. And what I try and do, I was listening to another podcast, and they were saying that, or the guest on the show was saying that what they try and do is to just make three pars or be even par for the first three, and then you can sort of get into your round and start making a move after that. And so that's sort of what I try and do. But with at Kooindah Waters, there's a couple of fairly difficult holes, especially the third. The third's quite a difficult par four. So I always, whenever I'm at Kooindah and playing, I always find it fairly, a little bit of a difficult task to be able to get through the first three at even par. However, what I find then after that is that it opens up a little bit and there are some birdie holes. So then from there, I've after making a couple of bogeys, I've hit a really good shot into four to about 3 feet and made birdie par three. And then the par
True.
five.
That was a great shot, actually.
Yeah, the par five fifth, I made a pretty good birdie as well after being in the fairway bunker off the tee. Then sort of made par through through 6, 7, and then I made a bogey at 7 because I hit it. I had 4 shots, but took a penalty because I had a unplayable, and then I made birdie at 8.
Well, let's just stop at 7.
Yeah.
Because what you don't know, because on 8, 8's par 5 Pilgrims, where we hit our drives. I'd then hit a 7-iron layup because there was water short of the green. And Andy Walker, we were in a cart for the day, unusual, but due to all of Andy Walker's sob stories about how hard he'd been working, we agreed not to walk the course.
I did when we got to the course. I'd sort of we'd gone into the pro shop and paid for the comp and for the round, and I'd sort of ducked in to put some sunscreen on, and Steve had already sort of gone around to the practice nets, and I walked around and I said, "What are your thoughts on jumping in a cart for the day?"
Yes, sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah, and fortunately, there was a cart available, so we jumped into a cart. And I have to say, it was the best decision that we'd made.
Decision. It was a great decision. But I did take the opportunity on 8 to have a little bit of a walk for 100 metres. And Andy Walker, I got the microphone out and just recorded a couple of thoughts about
nice
the holes to date. So I think maybe we might go there now. Let's just hear about what was going on. Here we go, Pilgrims. Pilgrims, we are 7 holes into the fight for the yearly championship at Kooindah Waters. Beautiful day. Some interesting golf being played through 7 holes. Andy Walker currently on 13 Stableford points, myself on 12. Only 1 shot in it. Anything could happen from here. Stay tuned, Pilgrims. There you go. As you can hear, only 1 shot in it. Through 7.
And look, I felt at this stage as though I was scoring relatively well, but I was struggling to put a good swing on, just struggling to find my my swing. I'd hit some good shots, I'd hit some pretty ordinary shots, but all in all, I just didn't feel like my ball striking was there. But I was still scoring okay, so I felt fairly comfortable at that stage.
I think the big question is when you are feeling like that and the swing's not quite there, but you're still scoring okay, is that sustainable throughout the whole round?
That's a very good question.
Which is one that we should attempt to answer. So birdie on 8, which was good for you. After recording that and obviously really focused and thinking about my next shot, as I was walking to the ball, I had, what did I have, about 85, 90 metres roughly to the pin. I was slightly in between wedges. So there was water short of the green. There was a bunker behind the green. So being in between wedges, I thought I would hit the higher lofted wedge and go a little bit harder at it, which is a really clever decision, which led me to fat that straight into the water in front of the green.
Yep.
Which unfortunately, didn't end well. Forced. It was either a bogey or a double. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
I think that was a white that you had on that hole. Yep. Yeah, because I do remember jumping in the cart and in between the 8th green and the 9th tee, because we'd already talked about the fact that I was playing off 2 on the day and you were playing off 10, and I was having to give you 8 shots. And I think I said to you,
"Are we going to harp on that?"
Yeah. I think it's a very important comment.
Okay.
That I made, and an observation that I made is that half of the shots that I had to give you,
it was an 8. In fact, it was a triple. It wasn't even a bogey or a double. Triple. That's right. Yeah, that's exactly.
I got half of those shots. I got back on that hole, so I had 4 points. I had a 4 or 4.
Yes, and I had a too many and naught.
Yes,
that was disappointing. I guess depending on which side of the spectrum you're looking at it from, but certainly from mine, it was disappointing. So, look, we moved on over the next couple of holes. I'm just trying to get the card up here to see exactly how things happened. So that was 8. Yeah, it was an 8. An 8 on 8, which was sad. And then on 9, I made bogey on 9. And then I made bogey on 10, 11, and 12. And on 10, it was particularly disappointing after having a fairway in regulation and a green in regulation to then have a 3-putt bogey.
Yes.
Anyway, these things do happen. So that, I think, meant that you were carrying an approximately 3-shot lead at this point.
Well, I'd gone, because 9, I didn't have a particularly good hole on 9, because I hit my tee shot into the left rough and then hit a really poor 6-iron into the water. Took a drop, pitched onto the green and 2-putted for 6, which wasn't.
That's right, because that was interesting, because on that same hole I'd hit my drive, which was a fairway wood, into the left hazard.
Yes.
Took a drop and then hit my 3rd onto the green.
Yes.
2-putt bogey. Yeah. You'd hit the fairway.
Yeah.
And then hit your 2nd into the water short of the green, which was a worse sin than rinsing your drive, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's something that's interesting.
Well, yeah, because and what I tried to do on my second shot, I was what I would consider a pretty sort of halfway in between a 6 and a 7-iron, and I thought about hitting a hard 7-iron. However, I was on a bit of an upslope, and I thought, you know what, this could balloon a little bit. I just want to hit maybe, punch a 6-iron and just make sure you get it over the water and safely onto the fat part of the green. And I don't know how far it was left, but it was a long way left.
It was a long way.
And didn't even get close to getting over the water. So from being even par through 8 after making birdie 8 to get back to even par to then double 9 was a bit disappointing, but these things happen. But from there, I think I made par at 10. 11, I hit a very ordinary snap hook left back onto the 10th fairway. Ended up hitting into the fairway, into the greenside bunker, couple of shots in the greenside bunker.
That's right.
Got out, missed the putt. So that was a pickup wipe.
That was hard. So then we get to... so you're holding a 3-shot lead. I think actually we might actually have a few words from the course here at around about this stage. Let's go to that, Andy Walker. Andy Walker, we've just teed off on 13. Pilgrims, the noise you hear in the background is a cart. Yes, we're not walking today. There's 3 shots in it. What are your thoughts?
Is there really 3 shots in it, or?
Well, there's 3 shots in it on the Stableford rating.
Yeah.
We don't actually know what that means in the yearly championship. We won't know until we see the gross differentials at the end of the round. But let's assume there's 3 shots in it, Andy Walker. How do you feel?
I'm not feeling great, I have to say, at the moment. But
Yet you're the one leading.
Yet I'm the one leading.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we go for the rest of the round. But the good thing is that if we were walking, I would be in a much worse position than what I am now.
Oh, Pilgrims, there's more to that story. We'll talk to you soon. So there you go. We just teed off on 13. You were holding a 3-shot lead.
Yep. And at this stage, I did feel as though I was fading fairly quickly from my exploits the previous week, but I was still 3 shots in front, and I'd rather be 3 shots in front than 3 shots behind. And the reason why I questioned, was I really 3 shots in front, is due to the calculation method that we have. I don't need to play too far over my handicap in order for my percentages just to blow out significantly. So it effectively doesn't matter what score you have, you'll still beat me.
Yep. I mean, that's just such a negative way of looking at it, because if you go under your handicap, then it accelerates away so quickly as well. So,
well, I also think that I did point out at one point that I was fairly confident. I think was it on the 10th? I said I was fairly confident that I've got the bonus point.
Yeah. That I wasn't going to shoot 8 under par from that point.
Yeah.
Which let's be honest, that did not happen. So that was on the tee. We just teed off on 13. You were holding a 3-shot lead at that point on Stableford on the day. We do have another recording, Andy Walker, just after we completed the 13th hole.
Okay, let's hear it.
Which we might go to now, just to give us a bit of an update. Rather than us tell the story, let's go to 2024, us tell the story. So Andy Walker, we've just walked off 13. It's now a 1-shot lead. That tightens things up just a little bit.
It does a little bit.
With 5 to play, 1 shot in it. Pilgrims, stay tuned. So, Andy Walker, you went from a 3-shot lead to a 1-shot lead in 1 hole.
Yep. As I said, I felt like I was fading fast. I wanted to keep going. I felt as though there was no way I was going to jump out of the pilot seat and just give it to you. So I was still pretty confident that I could come back and make a championship of it, but maybe not.
Well, the thing was, so I went par on 13, 14, 15, whilst your round was starting to fall apart.
Yes.
And then we got to 16. And on 16, I made a double,
Yes.
which was disappointing. And that really let you back into the game because I think it had actually blown out to a 2 or 3 shot lead for me at that point.
Mm.
And then,
Well, I think I'd so 13, 14, I'd gone bogey because I hit my tee shot into the water on 14, and then I followed that up with hitting my tee shot into the water at 15, and then I took a drop and hit my second shot into the water on 15, and then I took a drop, and I think I hit mine out to the right and then sculled my tee shot. It was getting really ugly on 15.
It's getting messy. And then on 16, of course, we both hit our tee shots.
Flared it out to the right.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Neither of them were pretty.
No, you were in the bushes and I was actually in the hazard.
Yeah, but you could have a shot though, which was somewhat of an advantage because I had to hit out sideways pretty much, made double. And that let you back into the game.
Yeah, so I hit my 54 to about 8 feet and binned the putt for birdie.
That's right. And then we went to 17. And 17 being that very short little par 3, which was playing extremely short because the pin was right at the front. It was really asking for you to hit a gap wedge and suck it back into the hazard, which I didn't do because I hit off first and I sucked it back a long way, but not quite into the hazard. And then Andy Walker, you stepped up and hit a nice gap wedge, pitched it about pin high, and then what?
Yeah, sucked it back into the water.
Yeah.
Yes. It wasn't one of my finest moments, but the good thing was, and what I said sort of as we were coming up onto the green is because I'd actually gone over the hazard and landed on the green and sucked it back into the water, I could actually take a drop virtually next to the green. At the point of entry. So, that made my third and fourth shots a little bit easier.
It did. And being a red penalty area these days, I think they're not.
Yes, penalty area.
Being red stake penalty area, you could make the drop over there. Strange hazard though, or penalty area, because on the tee side of the water it had yellow stakes, but on the green side of the water it had red stakes. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what that means.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. But what I've done it a few times is just dunked it straight into the water off the tee, which obviously means you just reload.
You got to re-tee, yeah.
Yeah.
The yellow stake at that point.
Yeah. However, fortunately, I'd gone over the hazard onto the green and jagged it back in the water, so made it a little bit easier to make my bogey.
Well, that is definitely good. So that meant that we went to the 18th tee, and we do have a little recording from the 18th tee, Andy Walker. Strap yourself in. Andy Walker, one hole to play. It's ebbed and flowed. There's one shot in it. You're down by one now, Andy Walker. One hole to play. How do you feel?
Well, I certainly feel as though if we end up square, we need to do an 18-hole playoff.
No, we don't. Or maybe we do, but let's walk.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yes. All right, here we go, teeing off on 18. So we teed off on 18. Now, 18, Pilgrims, is a very tough hole at Kooindah. Quite a long par 4, doglegging around the water. So there's water all the way up your left. You've kind of got to cut the corner over the water onto the fairway. There's fairway bunkers on the right-hand side if you don't go an aggressive enough line off the tee. And then there's another little creek, bit of water in front of the green as well before you get there. So there's quite a lot going on.
Yeah, and there's water all the way up the left-hand side, effectively, even past the green. It's a hazard. So you just cannot go left, which, as we all know, my bad shot is left. So 18's never been my favourite hole.
Yeah.
I usually, when I'm at Kooindah, I'll usually either hit a 4 fairway or a 3 utility off the tee just to get it into play to make sure that, yeah, I'm not hitting it left into the water.
Yep. But you did, on this occasion, hit an absolutely cracking drive.
Hmm. Well, I was
With driver.
27 points at that stage.
That's probably worth mentioning.
I mean, if I was 37 points,
You were
it's
27, I was 28.
highly unlikely
Yeah.
that I would have pulled driver out of the bag. But being 27 points, that there wasn't a lot of pressure. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I was also not burning it up with you. I was on 28 points. And so we both hit driver. You hit a cracking drive. Kind of nice little draw. Just extended your distance there over the water. I also hit a draw, but being left-handed, that was not the correct shape. And it drew it nicely into the fairway bunker. At which point, I'm going to share this photo on the Facebook page after this episode goes live, because I feel like at this point I was absolutely positively Kooindah'd, which now is a verb in my vocabulary. In Pilgrims, there's always a debate about whether or not you leave the rake in the bunker or out of the bunker. Okay. A lot of golf courses are moving to the leave the rake in the bunker mentality. There are reasons for it. Obviously, that's why a lot of places do it. My personal view is it is an absolutely ridiculous strategy. It should be outside of the bunker, as much out of play as it can possibly be. Anyway, in this case, it was inside the bunker. My ball has gone in, hit the rake, nestled under the rake in the channel that the rake shaft had made in the sand, which was running in the direction of the hole. So I may as well have been trying to hit my ball out of the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
Not happy. Obviously couldn't get club on the back of the ball and basically hit a 7-iron splash out of the fairway bunker, which then there's another thing that we need to add to the Facebook page is the video of where that ended up, which was in the quagmire of the creek running across. So unfortunately that meant that I took a double on that hole, which was a disappointing way to finish.
But there is a very important point that we need to make. It is the first time in your golfing career that you've used a broomstick putter.
It is. In the hazard.
To get your ball out of the hazard.
Not on the green. So that was disappointing. But what it did mean is that it opened up the window for you to potentially make a 3-pointer and win the day. Yep. Talk us through it, Andy Walker.
Well, after hitting a pretty good drive, I was only a 9-iron to the pin. And I have to say I hit a pretty ordinary 9-iron, but it still managed to sort of sneak up onto the green. And I had probably would have been a 25, 26 footer, I reckon, which, was a pretty straightforward putt. I felt reasonably confident standing over the putt. However, I proceeded to leave it about 8 feet short and then proceeded to miss that as well. Just to be a nice guy and, even it all up.
Which is fantastic. Which meant, Pilgrims, that we both finished on the mighty total of 29 points. It was a tie.
Yeah. Well, it was a tie in Stableford.
It was.
But I think the gross differential will tell a very different story.
The gross differential tells a very, very different story. And what that means, essentially, ladies and gentlemen, is that I did take out the month of December. And in fact, it was that round at Kooindah that ended up being better than the previous round that I had early in the month, which is a damning statistic. But that's because of the slope rating, of course. And that means...
However, in saying that, if you hadn't have played at Kooindah and just taken my round, you still would have won.
I still would have won. comfortably. And what that means is that yearly championship, the trophy, which I'm holding now. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see this. If you're listening to the podcast, it's going to be difficult to see it. There is a photo on the Facebook page. The yearly championship trophy stays in Dubbo. Very excited, very happy.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. It's I'm pretty sure I've got some applause sound effects that I can add to that. I don't need you to do that. But that's exciting. Which is great. So the year-long race feels good to win. I mean, after you won the Masters jacket last year, it's nice to win something.
Which was back-to-back, yeah.
Don't have to rub it in. It's nice to win something.
And it actually wasn't last year. It was the year before. 2023.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true.
And look, I mean, you know, if you feel good about, you know, beating me after, you know, me doing sort of maintenance and having a broken body the week before and having 3 months off being injured. I mean, if you still feel good about that victory, then, you know, good luck to you.
It's funny that you raised that, because here's the thing. Like, it's one thing to win the jacket on a weekend away with your mates, you know, like just one weekend of decent golf in the year, you know, like that. If you want to feel good about that, then that's fine, you know, versus being the person that, you know, puts in, week out, month in, month out, you know, consistently puts the performances on the board, really takes care of their body and looks after their fitness to make sure that they're actually able to get out there and compete on a regular basis. And as a result, just has the consistency to perform across the entire year. You know, I think it's pretty clear which is the more impressive achievement, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the Pilgrims will, you know, make up their own minds about it.
I'm sure they will. And I'm sure they'll agree with me, Andy Walker. Here you go. Another look at the trophy that you won't get your hands on.
Where's the club?
Oh, he dropped it. He dropped it. Funny story. So this trophy does go back to the original days of the Missing Link Social Golf Club, and that's why there's a lot of other names on it that's not ours. Which will bring me to another topic in a minute. And the previous time this was played for was back in 2017, so we're reigniting something from quite a while ago. This had been sitting in someone's garage, one of the old Missing Link Social Golf Club members for a while. And then we had a reunion, a few, you know, adult beverages at one of the fantastic pubs down in the Rocks. And, you know, that took us to one or two whiskey bars around the streets of Sydney, sort of early last year. And this was brought along and was handed over with a couple of boys saying, hey, you might be able to make use of this. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. At the start of the night, the little golfer on the trophy here, at the start of the night, he had a golf club in his hand.
Yeah. By the end, he didn't.
The next morning, when I woke up to take him home from the hotel that I was staying in down in Sydney, I had a look and I'm like, it's really unusual. Like there's no golf club in his hand anymore, but what it actually looks like, and I just think this is so much more fitting for what we're doing now, is it legitimately looks like this is a guy, you know, standing somewhere just shadow swinging. Doesn't actually have a golf club. He's shadow swinging. So he could be in an elevator. He could be watching his kids play sport. He could be standing in a queue at the cafe waiting for his coffee. I don't know, but he's practicing his golf swing without a club. And I think nothing says Missing Links golf quite like that.
Nice.
So on that segue, Pilgrims, if you want to get on board, we have had a bit of a think about what the yearly championship might look like for 2025. And it is this. We're not going to do this ridiculous percentage of gross differential this year. We're going to keep it simple on Stableford points. So the best Stableford score for the month will win. I think, Andy Walker, all the other rules can probably stay the same. What do you think?
Yep.
You know, the point scoring seemed to work. Bonus points, I think, was a really good addition. So you're never quite fully out of it if you can have a cracking round at some point. But what we thought is we've really enjoyed playing against each other. We would like to open it up to the Pilgrims to get involved. So if you want to compete against the two of us, or this is Missing Links Golf Show Yearly Championship, you can. All you need to do is to go onto the Facebook page, join our private group, which is the Missing Links Golf Show podcast group. There's information on how to do that via the main Facebook page, Missing Links Golf Show on Facebook. Just get on there, drop a comment on. I'll put a post up with the information on here. Just drop a comment on saying, yep, I want to be in. We'll put you on the list. And then all you've got to do each month is put a scorecard through to us. We'll have all the instructions on that post on how to do it. Send a scorecard through to us. You will need to have, in some way, shape, or form, a golf handicap is legitimate. Otherwise, too many burglars. But I think if you've listened to the show this far, you've probably got a handicap. And then you can join the fun. And what that will mean is that every month we'll announce the winner of, who is the winner of the month. We'll keep the leaderboard going. And if you win it at the end of the year, you will get your name engraved on the trophy, which is extremely exciting. And who knows what other bonuses might come your way. We don't know.
Look, and I also think that we need to, and Steve and I will sort of, sift through how we're going to do this and what the point scoring system will be, because so there's a few sort of little questions, whether it's sort of 3 points or whether we do 3 points, 2 points, 1 point for the top three, or how far that goes. So those details will be ironed out before we start. But certainly, if you're interested, let us know. We'll open it up to everyone this year.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. And you know what, if you happen to be listening to this podcast later in the year and you feel like you've missed the boat, that's totally fine. There's no harm in getting on board, even if the competition's halfway through. It's absolutely worthwhile. It's a good way to join the community. And you know what, if you're not playing regular competition golf, it's actually a really good, cool little thing that you can do to give your rounds of golf a little bit more meaning, because, you're going to submit them through to a like-minded community of golfers. So I think it's got a lot going for it. Should be a lot of fun. Get on board.
Sounds good.
May the best left-hander from Dubbo win again.
Yeah, it might be a little bit more difficult to go back to back with a few more competitors.
We love a challenge. But I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Anyway, interested in your thoughts, so please reach out. But there you go. That was the finale. That was 2024. Done and dusted, the yearly championship. So how did you feel, Andy Walker? I mean, we're going to do a full review, I think, in terms of a bit more detail on performances for the year and what we're expecting out of 2025 in coming episodes. But how did you feel about that day out at Kooindah? I thought it was a cracking day out. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it was. Firstly, reiterate, glad we got a cart. Of course, I really don't think I would have made 18 holes walking, and I love to walk. I don't play in a cart very often, and I enjoy the same. But it was a very, very enjoyable day, and it was good to hang out in the last day of the year, and then obviously we had a nice New Year's with the family, and stayed out till, well, we didn't stay out till midnight. It was about,
no, we didn't.
It was sort of about 10:30, 11:15, and
something like that.
Yeah, then we all sort of moseyed home. But it was a really good day out. Really enjoyed it.
Fantastic night out watching the Breakaways. Great covers band on the coast. Get the chance to see them live. Big shout out to Arnie Karen up front on vocals. Cracking effort. It was a good night out. No, it was good. It was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great to catch up. It was nice to have a round of golf in person rather than just talking about doing it all the time. So it was a good day. So
we really only played twice in 2024, like in the same group. Like we played in the Macquarie Cup, and then
one of the 2 rounds.
And then it was the 31st, that last finale at Kooindah. So. We don't get the chance to play very often. Obviously, we played the New South Wales Country Championships, but we didn't actually play in the same group. But it was good to actually have a game in the same group.
No, absolutely. Speaking of playing in the same group, Andy Walker, question for you that I think everyone would like to know the answer to. Have you yet put your application in for the Senior Amateur Championships.
No.
Which leads me to the next question. Have we put our names down for the foursomes championships?
No.
Obviously not. I think we need to make that a priority.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah.
And yes, I have actually looked at the entry form. Does that count?
No. Fill it in. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I know, and yes, I have got that on my very long task list to start the year again because obviously if I don't enter, I won't be there, and we've actually booked our accommodation, so potentially if I don't enter, I'm caddying for you.
Well, that's assuming that I make the list as well because I had a look. When was it? Yesterday or so.
Yep,
and there were already 102 entries.
Ooh.
There's
what's the field size?
136, I think it is, or 132.
Yeah, right.
130 something. And they've got the ballot list out already.
Right. Okay.
And of the 102 that are in, I'm sitting in 83rd on handicap.
Right. Ooh.
So, I mean, I should be okay because that requires about 50 entries to come in to knock me out, all with handicaps below where I'm.
Yep.
So I'm probably okay.
I reckon you'd be right. Have you had a look at last year to see what the handicaps were last year?
No.
Maybe because the results will be on Golf New South Wales website, so maybe jump in and just have a look at what the highest handicap was last year, and that might give you a bit of a benchmark as to where it'll end up this year.
It may. I mean, word on the street is that entries this year are through the roof compared to previous years, according to Emmanuel Avaranis from Golf New South Wales. And he puts that down to the fact that there's been a very high-performing podcast series going on about the New South Wales Senior Amateur Championships, which is driving a lot of interest in the event. So might be a victim of our own success there, Andy Walker. Who knows?
Maybe.
Time will tell. So I think that pretty much sums up this re-entry into 2025, or first entry into 2025, re-entry into podcast episodes for the year.
Yes.
As you can see, out of practice, but that's fine. We'll get better.
Well, I mean, you did say, what's my list of items to come into this, and I went, I don't have one, which is about the standard for what we've done over the last 12 months or so. But yeah, we'll have to start actually putting an agenda together so we can make a bit more sense.
We will. Production values are going to go up this year, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry about that. But never fear. The same good old ramble of unscripted conversation will continue. There's no risk.
There'll be a few tangents.
Yeah, there's no risk of that changing. But other than that, thanks once again for joining us. It's a new year. It's all very exciting. There's a lot of opportunities for the rest of the year, and we thoroughly look forward to sharing the adventures of 2025 with you all. It's going to be a big one because this is the year that we finally get the chance to embark on the big one, which is the Senior Amateur Championships.
It'll be big. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to having you on the right side of 50 so that we can start doing a little bit of travel and playing in a few events this year. So we'll have to actually seriously look through the events calendar and pin some events in the calendar and make sure we get to them.
We do. And I've got to say, I really, on a kind of semi-personal and definitely a serious level, I love the fact we've got this going because turning 50 is a little bit more confronting than I thought it was going to be. But this is putting a positive spin on it. Not something that I need to freak out about, but there's a lot to look forward to. So from that perspective alone, it's definitely been a worthwhile exercise. So there you go.
Yep. Look, at the end of the day, you are going to feel exactly the same at age 50 as what you do at aged 49 and 364 days.
Pretty sure that's true. Yep, we'll go with that.
I even reckon that at age 50, you'll feel exactly the same as what you do now.
I hope I feel better actually, because I want to embark on a little bit of a fitness journey between now and then. So
You've only got 5 weeks, man. You got to get cracking.
I've been going for 5 days already, so he's up.
Nice.
Anyway, on that note, Andy Walker, anything else that you recommend that we do in the near future?
Oh, look, I reckon we should start right now and rock out, Pilgrims.
Let's do it. Thanks for listening to us today. We love hearing from our pilgrims, so please reach out to us through any of the links in the show notes. We know golf is hard, so we hope we can help you shoot better scores and inspire you to keep trying. Rock on, pilgrims.